what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2024 Rush SR. Behind me is a 1-liter inline 4 and down below is a 6-speed semi-automatic transmission. Now I am super excited to be driving this Rush SR because this is a purpose-built race car. It's a single-seater. They're built down in Houston. And so this is going to be a very interesting review. But if you'd like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackbradle.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And if you'd like to see all my videos weeks or sometimes months in advance, you can head on over to my Patreon for only $5 a month.
Also, huge thank you to Diversion Motorsports out of Wisconsin for letting me borrow this Rush SR for today's video. They are the premier Rush dealer, so if you're interested in picking up your own little track toy, please go check out Diversion Motorsports.
But let's get back to that 1-liter behind me. Well, it's a 4-stroke, 4-cylinder engine from a Suzuki motorcycle, and it's good for about 145 horsepower. However, that doesn't really matter all that much because this vehicle only weighs 1,100 pounds. With the driver and ballast, we're looking at about 1,300 pounds. So it's super, super light, and it also revs to 11.5. Now, there is the SRX, that is a turbocharged version that sounds absolutely terrifying. And there's only 8 of those in the world. There's just under 400 of these so far. But Rush has big plans to be kind of the new spec Miata, if you will. They're extremely affordable to run in terms of a race car. The tires last 30 sessions. The whole back of the car comes off for easy maintenance. And honestly, with spec Miata growing and aging as much as it is, this is kind of going to be the way of the future. Now, like I said, paired to it is a semi-automatic transmission. So it's actually a motorcycle transmission. So first gear is the left paddle, and then the sequential gears after it are the right paddle. Once you use the clutch to get it going, you don't have to use it again, which is pretty freaking cool. Last but not least, of course, it is rear-wheel drive, but it's also chain-driven, which is also very, very unique. So I don't know how much of this you're going to hear because we're actually out on the track now. But what's it like to drive? It's honestly just a big go-kart. It takes a lot of arm muscle. That's the biggest thing. Everything's manual. And this is technically a Gen 2 car. So it's throttled by wire instead of by cable. But it's really nice just being in a unique, purpose-built race car. This doesn't have to conform and have a passenger seat. This doesn't have to have blinkers or turn signals. And it runs out to 11,000.
Alright, so we're going to switch over to voiceover for the interior because as much as I love filming and recording in the car so you get a feel for it, the audio is so bad because of the wind and the noise. I was wearing full gun range earplugs and it was still hurting my ears. So let's talk about the interior of the Rush SR, or lack thereof. Well, right off the bat, you do have a detachable steering wheel, and this can be customized if you order your own. You could use your own steering wheel. You do have buttons for like pit talking and other commands, and of course the paddle shifters are around the back. Off to the left of the driver you have the power switch as well as the start stop button and the run and fuel on and off switch, and off to the right you have an auxiliary switch, the rain switch, and the strobe and DRL on and off. Those are those little headlights. They're not really headlights, but daytime running lights. To the left of your knee there is a fire suppression system, so pull that red handle and it has fire extinguishers on board. And directly in front of you is a digital gauge cluster you might be accustomed to seeing in side-by-sides or on motorcycles. The seat is a plastic compound, not very comfortable, but I'm 5'11", about 270, and I was able to fit in the car, albeit not gracefully. Getting in and out was quite the trip, but I was able to do so. Up above me you will notice that this is outfitted with an F1 style halo. Now this is an option, not every Rush SR comes with with this, but this is something that you can get. And the interesting thing is that I've always been curious about F1 drivers, how they see around the halo. You actually kind of forget about it. Here on video, you're probably staring at the halo, but once you're driving on track, it's like your nose, it just kind of goes away, which is very, very cool. Of course, throughout all of this, there are no factory cup holders in the Rush SR, so it fails the big friggin' bottle test. Now, all Rush SRs come in white. The whole point of that is so that you can put your own racing livery on it. This one actually had an Alzheimer's charity livery on it, which I thought was very, very cool. And they are tiny. I didn't have any comparison vehicles to park it next to show you how tiny they are, but it looks like it's the size of a Miata. It is smaller. So that was definitely very cool. I think that they look handsome. They look like a race car, and obviously you feel like a race car driver when behind the wheel. With all of this being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think having this experience out on track in a Rush SR? Well, first of all, this was the coolest thing in the whole wide world. This was an absolutely amazing experience, and I cannot thank Diversion Motorsports enough for letting me take it out on Autobahn Country Club. There are a lot of benefits of this car. Obviously, the downside is the fact that it is $60,000 to get into. But give or take, you could find a used one, or you can spec them up. We were talking to a guy that spent $68,000 to get his. However, in the racing world, $60,000 actually is not expensive at all. This isn't meant for single mothers and their kids. This isn't meant for your first car out of college. This isn't even road legal. And so, people spending race car money know that $60,000 is not a lot of money. The other big thing is the maintenance. A typical spec Miata engine will last 50 to 100 hours. That's basically, for a casual driver, that's about a season's worth of driving. You should rebuild the engine every season to remain competitive. This engine is rated at about 150 hours, but Rush Auto Works is saying that some drivers have been getting 200 hours out of the engines while being competitive. That is serious bang for buck. That's 2 or 3 seasons worth of driving and remaining competitive on the same motor. The tires are small and cushy and pretty affordable to get. The whole body comes off, as you saw, so maintenance is very easy. I mean, take a look at how easy it would be to swap out the suspension on one of these. Besides fuel, and you gotta wax that chain, wax the chain after every session if you can, you are going to have a pretty maintenance-free race car, and that is a huge benefit. This is also new, so parts are very available. Comparing it to a spec Miata, those chassis are above 30 years old now, some of them. So getting parts, even though Mazda does support it, is getting harder and harder, and staying competitive is harder and harder. This is a very good baseline. You buy this and you go racing with it. And the fact that it is a purpose-built race car is so cool. They didn't have to fit a second seat. There's no Apple CarPlay. There's no weird space for an airbag. There's no dashboard you have to delete. There's no crazy suspension you have to retune so it works on a racetrack. This was built for this one single purpose, and you feel that throughout the car, and that is what's really special. This is honestly a relatively affordable way to get into single-seat racing. And man, when you kiss 11,500 RPM, it is just like nothing else. This was an incredible experience. This is an incredible little car, and this is something that I will carry with me for a very long time. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Havoc Motorsports for housing us. Huge thank you to Autobahn Country Club for having us out. Huge thank you to Diversion Motorsports for bringing the car to the track so I could try it. And of course, huge thank you to Luke for setting it all up. This is an awesome little car.
Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.